Okay, welcome everybody back to the GOATCast. This is season 4, and this is a movie review I'm about to do for Creed 3, the third installment of the Creed franchise. Of course, it's a spinoff from the Rocky franchise, so it is for all us boxing lovers. And for my boxing / MMA fans out there, what y'all think of John Jones at heavyweight? Made pretty quick work of Cyril Gane. I thought it would be a little bit more of a fight, but John Jones got him out of there quick. He looks okay, but if Stipe Miocic is his next fight, that's going to be a much steeper fight. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Creed 3, which was directed by Michael B. Jordan, who also stars in it. Has Tessa Thomas, Valkyrie from Thor, and Jonathan Majors, who is killing it right now at the box office. He's Kang, but here he is Diamond Dame Anderson. And this is going to be spoiler. This is going to be filled with spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, don't keep listening, because I will be throwing in spoilers, because this is a hard one to talk about without spoiling some of it. So I'm going to just do spoilers, full spoilers. Also, I actually haven't seen Creed 1. I've heard lots of great things about Creed 1, but I never got around to seeing it. But I have seen Creed 2, which I thought was pretty good. It was basically kind of a paint by numbers Rocky style movie. Good action, good acting. I mean, you couldn't really go wrong with it. It was a good popcorn film, and I will say this follows that trend. But this movie had a lot of issues that you could because it was a satisfying movie, because even though it was very much predictable, it still had the feel good moments, and all the Rockyisms where the underdog Michael B. Jordan has to come through and beat the menacing and hulking Diamond Dame to win the titles back. So it followed the same tropes. My issues with this movie, because I'm not going to do a play-by-play of what happened at the beginning, but basically, I'll start off by saying that Michael B. Jordan, they open up with him having a match and him getting beat up, but he's able to land some good body shots, beat some undisputed world heavyweight champion, retires after that, and starts running his own gym and promoting his own fighters. So he's promoting, I think it's Felix Chavez is the heavyweight champion under him, and he's preparing him for his next fight, which was going to be against Drago. So that's how they start off. But they have a flashback also of a kid, Adonis Creed, and Jonathan Majors' character, Dame, as they're going out. He's an amateur boxer, and Adonis is kind of his corner man, helping him out. But they run into somebody that from their past, and Michael B. the kid version of Michael B. Jordan starts just wailing on him, punching him. And then throughout the movie, we see more and more of the flashback where Jonathan Majors' character, Dame, pulled a gun on him, and Michael B. Jordan's younger character runs. And from that's how we get the plot of this movie. Jonathan Majors' character, Dame, goes to jail for 18 years. So here's my here's where things just kind of get derailed for me, and I'm trying to not flip flop and go all over the place. But the thing that really bothered me was the whole his mom aspect of it, and I'm talking about Adonis Creed's mother. So we find out that she's kept all. He talks about that he wrote him, and Adonis is like, I never received anything from you. I never saw anything. So we all think that's peculiar, because we're thinking either he's lying or, something happened. But of course, what happened was his mother got those letters, but never let him see it, because I guess she didn't want him associated with that anymore. And, she just wanted him to move on from that life and those people. So we get that. But it plays such a small factor to me in this movie that it just seems like it's thrown in there to kind of give us a reason, give Creed's character a reason why he never made any kind of communication with him. And it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense that even if that character, Dame, never wrote him, the fact that he just never went and visited him or called him or wrote him himself, that's just kind of odd. That kind of paints him as the villain in some ways, that he just left his old friend just to rot in jail and just never even attempted, from what we hear, to check on him to see if he's all right. So that just puzzled me from the beginning. And so that was that. And then, Jonathan Majors played the villain character well. He's done it. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but I've heard he did a great job as King in that. And he did a great job here. I just wish they had given him some... they tried a little bit early to make him somewhat likable when he first gets out, but I felt like, even though there was that awkwardness to him and Michael B. Jordan's character, I thought that he never really tried to, I thought it would be better if they at least tried to be friends at some point, and then, what happens. Because you felt the animosity early. And I mean that's fine, but with a villain like he was, you kind of wanted to see him not just jump and embrace that embrace the villain role. You could have gotten to his villainy and him being what he was, I feel like, in a different way. So I just felt like they could have made him likable at some point, so that when his turn came, and you saw what was going to happen a mile away. He hired somebody to take out Drago so that he can get the world title shot. That's still kind of a stretch, because how would he know that there's not another heavyweight already prepared to take on the champion? Or why would he think that there's a possibility that Felix Chavez or whatever would not just wait until Drago's better? That there's some logic issues there. So him being a villain was kind of cartoonish in some ways, in that he was just, and the thing is, they didn't paint him that way as a younger kid. So if they would have shown his descent into, being a bad guy or being evil or being mad at the world, and some flashbacks of him being in prison or something like that, that might have helped. And that's another flaw with this movie. It seems like there's a lot of stuff that was on the cutting room floor. Like the stuff with his mom, like I said before, that doesn't really play a huge part in the animosity between Creed and Dame. The fact that she kept the letters from him, because it still doesn't say why he never reached out to him. Also, her death, she dies in the movie, and it's not emotional at all. It just happens. Then we just move on to the next scene, and it's like it doesn't go back to anything involving her. Like even the final fight between Creed and Dame, there's no mention of her. There's no, I gotta do this for my mom, or when he's down, there's no. I figured he would hear her voice, or he would say, this is for my mom, or whatever. None of that. So it just seemed like there was a lot of stuff. It was way too choppy of a movie, where it feels like there was stuff that they just took out because they didn't want it to have a huge runtime, and maybe they just want to get to the action, or it seems like they had ideas but they just never decided to use those ideas and to flesh those ideas out. It was like, let's involve the mom, and she's the reason for the animosity, and she dies, and he's it just, there was nothing in it that tied all that together. Like most movies would have tied her death and her playing the part in their huge rivalry. All of that would tie together into the climax, but none of it does. Then they also have a little side plot with his daughter and her wanting to be a fighter, or her being interested in fighting because she gets bullied and knocks the bully out. Only thing I could say is, if this is going towards her being the next Creed, quote unquote, it might be time to end this franchise. Nothing wrong against female boxers. I think it would be a good story, but Michael B. Jordan's character, and Michael B. Jordan period, is young, so it doesn't seem like they should just not kill his character off, but just to put him on the sidelines already. It just doesn't make any sense for them to just put him, and plus she's young, so we'd have to do a big time skip for her to actually even be at an age to be, a professional. So if they want to do a time skip, you kind of want, I don't know. Maybe that's how they'll end it. He said there's going to be a Creed 4, so maybe that's how they'll end it, with her being the, carrying on the Creed name. But if that's their next go-to movie, I can't see it. What they're going to do? Have Drago have a daughter and she fight the female Drago, or Clubber Lang or something has a granddaughter? I don't know. But and then, like I said, this was very paint by numbers. It was, you introduce the big bad, he beats the current champion, which was Creed's client, so he had some type of relationship with that person, and now he's got to come back and take down the big villain that's taking down one of his allies, his friends. So it's basically a action movie, a hero movie, whatever you want to call it. So we get the big climax, they have the big fight, and it was just so weird how, like I said, it feels like stuff was left out, because the way the way it all came to was Adonis Creed was on First Take, but this is also what baffled me. First Take comes on in the mornings. They were on there at night because it was all dark in Dame's apartment or house. So, and First Take isn't even a show that you can call into, but I guess he called his cell phone and Michael B. Jordan's character answered it, and I don't know. I gotta rewatch it, but that part, and he was like, "Yeah, I accept." And that was just a weird, that didn't work for me. And yeah, and Tessa Thompson's character just really had no, other than the fact that she had to give up her singing career, and now she's producing, and she's cultivating artists with her music to take on her music. Well, it's just kind of skimmed over. Like, they teased her and Michael B. Jordan having some type of friction, but just after one, it was just all was forgiven. There was no more issues. So I thought that was weird. And I'm saying all this, and it sounds like I'm just completely negative about the movie, but the movie was fun. Like, that's what as long as the acting's good, which you have nothing but good actors and actresses in this movie, so you're not going to ever worry about it feeling cheesy or like a B movie because you have good actors. So even when the plot and the things going on are silly, when you have people acting at their best, you kind of overlook all that because it does pull you in because they're really great actors and actresses. So I mean, that's just how it felt. It had a lot of gaping holes in it and logic. Like, you just gotta turn your logic button off when it comes to some of the movie. But the boxing was fine. I mean, I don't know any heavyweight that could sustain just throwing power punches the whole time. You kind of pace yourself, but those guys just go 0 to 100 immediately. So those guys have to have the greatest stamina in all of boxing ever. No clinching, no nothing, just power punches all the time, uppercuts and all that. Your arms would be jelly, but those guys, they know what they're doing. So I mean, the end fight was predictable but decent. It went to the 12th round and he knocked Creed down, but Creed, thanks to his wife saying get up or whatever she said, got up and knocked out Diamond Dame, and became the undisputed heavyweight champion again. So I guess whenever Creed 4 comes out, he'll be the champion and we'll have a new challenger or something of that nature. But like I said, there was a lot of good acting. You could, if the acting wasn't good, this movie would really be bad. But the fact that they draw you in with their acting and their their interactions, because they feel real. Some of the interactions between Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors' character, they feel real. And it just feels like two former friends that fell out. That's kind of how the awkward conversations would go, and how you could tell kind of Michael B. Jordan feels like, what's this guy doing here? And that's I thought I had left that in the past, and it's just kind of like the past showing up, and you're just like, well, I don't really know what to say or how to feel or what to do. So that was good. And like I said, Tessa, she was fine, even though her role could have been, anybody could play that role really, because she barely had anything to really bite into. But she was fine, and the daughter was fine. She's deaf, so you had that, element to it, which was fine and was cool. And every other every other character and actress played their part well. So it's a good popcorn movie. It's a good movie. Like me and my wife, it was a date night for us. It was a good date night movie. The funniest thing is at the climax when Michael B. Jordan had finally beat Jonathan Majors, and they kind of turned all the music down and it's quiet. All you could hear was somebody snoring like they were in the deepest sleep ever. Like all you could hear, and the whole audience started laughing because I guess that kind of told that that for some that movie could probably lose them for a little while because it was predictable and it was just kind of, I don't know, it was paint by numbers. It was cut and paste from any other Rocky just about. It didn't try to do anything different. It didn't even try to, make you feel anything for the villain, the antagonist, which I thought someone like Michael B. Jordan would do, but it definitely wasn't Killmonger versus Kang the Conqueror at all. But other than that, what would I rate it? I'd probably rate it a 7, which seems high because it was, like I said, it was enjoyable. You had action, you had a decent story. At least it was not hard to follow. You had a great villain that played the part well, and then you had a underdog that played the part well. So it was a 7. It was a fun watch, but would I go watch it again? Definitely not. Will I watch it again in the future? Maybe. Maybe if I'm just in the mood to see. Maybe that'll entice me to watch Creed 1, 2, and 3 back to back to back. But it's not something that I'm gonna seek out on any streaming service when it finally comes out. I'm not gonna hunt it down or subscribe to something just to see Creed 3. So yeah, that's my review of Creed 3. And if you have, how did you feel about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was I reading too much into it? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, you can hit me up at if y'all just any inquiries, GOATCast1@gmail.com. On Twitter at GOATCastC. I'm not on Twitter that much, but you can tweet me or whatever you want to do. So like and subscribe on YouTube, and I will have a poll on my Spotify asking, what did you rate Creed 3 if you've seen it? And maybe I'm gonna ask if you want a Creed 4. For me, I'm okay with it. If they're gonna wait quite a few years, let Michael B. Jordan age a little bit and then try to do his daughter or something like that, cool. But if they're gonna if this is something that's going to be done in the next 2 or 3 years, I'd have to see what the storyline is going to be, because they'd have to really amp it up for me to be excited for a new Creed. So see you guys later. I'm not sure what I'll be doing this week. I heard a lot of mixed mixed feelings about the Demon Slayer stuff. So I'll keep a tab on that. I'm probably not going to go to the movie to see it because it is just basically a preview, and from what I'm hearing, is not enough new footage for me to want to spend full price at the movie theater. So I'm gonna just wait until April when it comes out. So yeah, we may speak on that. I've been trying to watch some new anime, so I might give my thoughts on some of that. NBA is ramping up as we're winding down, so may have some NBA talk. And my Tar Heels, UNC Chapel Hill Tar Heels are complete trash, so I won't ever speak on them this year. March Madness coming up, happy about that, but my team, I'm sure, won't even be in it, so I can have a little more fun with it, so I won't have to worry about them. So I may have some my thoughts for the Final Four and all of that. So once again, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys soon.